We all have something we don't like about our bodies. This is the story of the time I sewed my belly button shut. I remember being in middle school. It was gym class, and we had to change our clothes in front of all the other boys. We didn't get buck-ass naked, just down to our socks and underwear. This was for me, as I'm sure it is for a lot of you, the first time I really saw other people almost naked, who weren't immediate family members. You kind of get used to how you look in the mirror, and from seeing other family members, you get an idea of what's normal from them. What I mean to say is, if you have something weird about your body, and it runs in the family, you probably don't know it's weird. Now, I remember this one guy. He didn't have a belly button. Instead, he had this tiny crescent moon-shaped scar. I asked him about it, and he said when he was younger, he had to have some kind of surgery, and they went in through the belly button, did what they needed to do, and when they were done, sewed it up. I was awestruck, like I didn't know that was an option. A belly button can have a lot of metaphorical significance. We all have one, well, mostly. And it's proof that at one point we were one with our mothers. So me, with my teenage angst, decided I wanted to get rid of mine. Years later, but shortly after the nipple experiment, I had proven to myself that I was capable. I don't panic when I'm bleeding out. I've got a steady hand with needle and thread. And most importantly, I have an insanely high pain tolerance. I thought, it's time. I took a razor blade and cut along the outer perimeter. Once I had opened it up sufficiently, I sewed the sides to one another. I used some fishing line I had bought, thinking that it would be strong enough to hold things in place while everything healed. What I didn't know is that fishing line is only strong when it's wet. Once dry, not so much. In my brilliant planning, I decided to do all of this right before I had to go into work at the local burger joint. So once I got the sutures closed up, I put on my dirty work uniform and headed off to work. What I didn't know is they would have me run the grill that night. So I'm standing there flipping burgers for a few hours when I get hit with an indescribable pain in my stomach. On the next break, I was able to go into the bathroom and check the damage. One of the fishing line stitches had popped. I couldn't do anything about it, so I just had to tough it out to the end of my shift. That night, a few more popped, and by the time I got home and inspected it, my belly button was in so much pain, pink, and probably infected. I slapped some peroxide on that bad boy, bit a wooden spoon, and got to work re-sewing what had come undone. Over the next couple of days at school, a few more stitches popped during classes. I finally got tired of re-sewing myself and decided to take the stitches out. Amazingly, on one side it had actually started healing together. I told myself I'd let it heal and then redo it properly. And that was about 18 years ago. What I've learned since is that I likely could have died if I kept at it. You see, when I closed up the skin, the old belly button was still there, just underneath. Air bubbles in your bloodstream spells bad news. I also wouldn't use fishing line. Probably just good old needle and thread. But realistically, if I were to do it again, I'd go to a proper body modification place and have it done there. And that, folks, is the story of the time I sewed my belly button shut. Stick around if you want to see pictures. This was a subscriber incentive, so thank you so much for getting me and my channel to 100 subs. I hope to keep entertaining you for a long time. Now, when we get to 1,000 subs, I'll tell the story of the time I got drunk and started a huge fire. Until then, be safe, and don't do anything I would do.